Hey friends, welcome back to the Elevated Dose. This is the final bonus episode in our January series, and today I want to talk about growth, not grind, not monetization, not turning every interest into a brand or a business. Growth as expansion, because when life gets heavy, growth is often the first thing to disappear. People stop doing things just because they enjoy them. They stop exploring interests that don't have a clear payoff. They stop imagining futures that feel bigger than survival, and they tell themselves they'll come back to it later. Later rarely comes. So today I want to talk about why elevated lives make room for growth on purpose, why hobbies and side interests are not frivolous, and how curiosity plays a critical role in long-term well-being. When capacity is low, life narrows. We focus on what's urgent, what's necessary, what has immediate consequences: work, health, bills, responsibilities. There's nothing wrong with any of that. Survival mode exists for a reason. But when survival becomes permanent, something important gets lost. You stop growing, not because you don't want to, but because there's no room for it. Elevated lives are not about escaping responsibility. They're about making sure responsibility doesn't consume everything. Growth has been hijacked by productivity culture. If it doesn't make money, it's a waste. If it's not scalable, it's pointless. If it doesn't lead somewhere, why bother? That framing turns growth into pressure. People stop allowing themselves to be beginners. We stop experimenting. We stop following curiosity. And over time, life becomes very efficient and very flat. Elevated growth reclaims expansion without obligation. Hobbies are often dismissed as indulgent, something you earn after work is done, something you do if you have extra time. But hobbies serve a deeper function. They restore a sense of agency, activate creativity, provide identity beyond productivity, and regulate the nervous system. When people lose hobbies, they often lose joy quietly. Elevated lives protect joy, not because it's cute, but because it's stabilizing. Side hustles sit in a complicated place. They can be empowering. They can be creative. They can offer flexibility and possibility. They can also become another job that drains us. The difference isn't the hustle, it's the intention. Elevated growth asks, does this expand me or deplete me? Does this align with my values or compete with them? Does this fit my capacity right now? Not every idea needs to be monetized. Not every interest needs a plan. Curiosity is treated like something to manage. People ask, is this useful? Is this strategic? Is this productive? But curiosity is information. It points towards growth. It signals readiness for expansion. It highlights unmet needs. Elevated lives listen to curiosity instead of suppressing it. Not every curiosity becomes a commitment, but ignoring it entirely leads to stagnation. For a long time, I postponed growth. I told myself I'd explore later, create later, build later. I stayed in maintenance mode because it felt safer. But over time, that safety started to feel like constriction. When elevated became my word, growth had to be included, not explosive growth, not pressure filled expansion, but room to create, room to explore, room to evolve without justification. That shift brought energy back into my life. Growth isn't draining when it's aligned. It can actually restore our energy. Creative outlets reduce stress. Curiosity improves cognitive flexibility. Novelty stimulates engagement. When life is only obligations, burnout accelerates. Elevated lives balance responsibility with expansion. That balance matters. One of the biggest barriers to growth is a fear of being bad at something. Adults are rarely given permission to be beginners, but growth requires humility, trying things without mastery, exploring without certainty, creating without performance. Elevated lives make space for learning curves. And not all growth is supportive. Ask yourself, does this energize me or drain me? Does this feel like expression or obligation? Does this fit in my life right now? Growth should feel expansive, not urgent. Without growth, life stagnates. Without curiosity, joy dulls. Without expansion, identity shrinks. Elevated lives stay open, not chaotic, not overextended, but open. Our growth affects our mood affects our health affects capacity, capacity affects work. Everything is a circle. Elevated growth strengthens the whole system. This series started with orientation, with choosing a word, a standard, a way of living. It ends here for a reason, because elevated lives are not just stable, they're alive. They allow room for becoming. So whether your word is elevated, grounded, steady, spacious, or something else entirely, I want you to ask yourself this: does my life leave room for who I'm becoming? If the answer is no, that's not a failure, it's information. And information is where intentional change begins. An elevated life isn't louder or harder, it's more intentional. And when everything works better together, growth doesn't feel scary, it feels possible.